In this section of the video, we will look through the process of carrying out the quarterly appraisal. In the previous video, we've already seen how to fill in the employee contract as a supervisor for the staff and how to carry out the monthly performance review as supervisor. Let's start by looking at how to carry out the quarterly appraisal. First, we need to be logged in as supervisor. Then, select your department, and then select the name of the staff whom we want to appraise. On the next page, select Form B, which is a quarterly appraisal. The Form B is where we begin to appraise the staff for the quarter. To start the process, scroll to Section 3, the performance contract of the staff. Here, we can see the empty field that says Target Achieved. This is where we begin to score the staff. We input the target achieved for that KPI in relation to the target set. The target sets appearing here come from the MPMS and our target for the entire year. Going ahead to fill this in for staff. For quarter 1, how many out of 20,000 has this tab been able to achieve? Let's assume the staff has been able to achieve 5,000. I type it in there. For the second KPI, let's put the target achieved as 0. I go on to type in the targets achieved by the staff for the quarter. The values inputted here is what has been achieved out of the target sets for this quarter. Also note that as I input the target achieved, the system automatically calculates the score for the quarter. When you are done inputting the values for the achieved targets, click on Submit to save my entry. Next, we move to the Section 4, which is the competency. Here, the supervisor grades the staff out of the maximum score for the first quarter. We can see that we are appraising for quarter 1, as it is highlighted in green. Now, we begin to score the staff. For effective decision-making, let's say my assessment is 4. Strategic thinking. We're going to give the staff 3. Embracing and managing change. We gave him 5. And 4 for strategic thinking. Now, the maximum score shows that I can't go above the set bounds. For instance, if I put a score above that, it's going to give an error showing in red. This is because I cannot go above the maximum bound. So, we input a value within the bound. And then the system automatically calculates the score for the staff for that quarter. As seen, out of 20%, which is the score for this section, this staff scored 16.6. Next, we go ahead to save in-out input by using the button as shown. The next section is the Operation and Process section. This section carries 10%. We use the same principle as the previous section. The supervisor rates the staff based on performance. Let's input the scores. You can see here again, the system automatically does all the calculations. The total here means that this staff scored 8.4 out of the total of 10% allocated to this section. Remember, the rating scores are not just random. They come from the performance rating scale, as seen on the screen. 4 here means exceed expectation. 3 means meets expectation, and so on as the case may be. Let's go ahead to submit my entry. The next section shows the summary for that quarter. As seen, in the employee contract, which is the first section, the staff was able to score a total of 66.7. In the competency section, the staff scored 16.67. And in Section 5, the staff scored 8.4 out of 10. And then the overall, which is the addition of Sections 3, 4, and 5, this staff has been able to score 91.85. This is the performance rating scale. It shows that above 90 is excellent. So, this staff has performed excellently well for the first quarter. Next, I can go ahead to include employee strengths. For demonstration, let's type the employee's strength as ability to adapt to and use emerging technologies. Next, we input areas for improvements for the staff. Let's say the staff needs to improve on his report submission turnaround time. Next, I go ahead and submit my entry. Please note that for each section, as you enter, you need to save by clicking the Submit button. At this point, I need to put in my comments. Lastly, I add my signature. And click Confirm and Submit. Now we have appraised for the first quarter. To appraise for the second quarter, the supervisor follows the same process. First, you activate quarter 2 by selecting it. As shown, the gets highlighted in green when activated. The supervisor follows the same process of inputting the target achieved out of the target set for the staff. This same process applies to the other sections 4 and 5. Next, we have a look at the Form C, the annual appraisal. We are already logged in as supervisor. Choose department and select the name of the staff to be appraised. Next, select Form C, the annual appraisal form. This page shows you a summary of the appraisal for all the quarters. Here, you can see the Section 3, which is the employee task. You can see the summary of the Quarter 1. Here we also see the summary of Quarter 2 as well as that of Quarter 3 and Quarter 4. Going over to Section 4, the competency section. We can see the summaries for each quarter. The same thing applies to Section 5, operations and processes. This section shows an overall summary of all the 4 quarters. It summarizes the overall assessment for the staff for the year. In the table, we see the subtotal of Section 3, Section 4, Section 5, and the overall of the 3 sections put together. It shows the annual score for the staff. Overall, for the year, this staff scored 77%. Based on the rating scale, 77 out of 100 is good. Hence, this staff performed well. Scrolling down to Section 7, this is where the supervisor adds comments and signature. The countersigning officer also adds the signature. The countersigning officer is any other person apart from the supervisor who can also sign off on the work of the staff. I can now proceed to download the appraisal report for the staff. To download it, simply click the download button as shown. Now you have a PDF copy downloading to your device. This is how the appraisal process is carried out. If you have any questions, kindly leave a message on your WhatsApp platform and one of our support staff will respond.